So one more thing that we do want to get set up before we start working on our website and working with or introducing you to Flexbox containers. And that is the option to install the Elementor Developer plugin. And what this is going to allow us to do is it's going to give us early access to some of the features that they're working on now whilst they're still under beta testing. So they're not ready to be pushed live, they're still experimental, and it just allows us to play around with some of these things, which I love to do anyway, and understand what is coming through the pipeline, so that when it does become a part of the official Elementor plugin and that it is launched after all of the experimenting is done, we already know how to use these, and we could have already implemented them on our websites, because that's going to allow us to do that by using this plugin. So what we want to do, sometimes if we head over to Elementor and settings, it'll ask, there it does. So it does sometimes ask you to install and activate it if you wanted to here. Now, if it doesn't come up there, then just go over to your plugins and then add new. If you want to search for Elementor Developer, it should come up on this first page. There it is. And you can install it that way. So wherever it is that you see it, just go ahead and install and activate that. And then we'll activate. And then we're going to come back to, now it might ask you to update your Elementor plugin then as well. And if it does ask you to do that, then just follow the instructions. We'll get that installed and updated as well. But once that is all done, if we come along to Elementor, we can now see that we have this little dev sign next to it. Now, if we come to the settings, there are a few things that are available under the features that are ongoing experiments. Now, these are really cool. We've already set up and turned on Flexbox containers, although by default that is still turned off. And their websites are still by default running with sections and inner sections, which is what you guys are probably used to. Now, you can still use them. That is absolutely fine. You can even use containers on websites that are built using sections, and it's not going to impact that either. I have tested that. If you have pages that are built using sections and inner sections, and then you start building additional pages using Flexbox containers, that is going to be absolutely fine. So we're going to be working with Flexbox containers, so make sure that is active. The editor top bar I think is quite a cool addition. I'm going to activate that. Nested elements, it says here, create a rich user experience by layering widgets together inside nested tabs. Now, that isn't something that we're going to be working with, but if we scroll down, we've got the menu here, and this is going to allow us to create mega menus, which is something that isn't available on any of the plugins apart from this developer version. So we get real early access into this. Now, of course, at the time of recording, this is still in beta testing, but this is hopefully going to be a part of the main plugin, the main Elementor page builder, within the next few months. So if you're taking this later in the year in 2023 or maybe in 2024, then just know that this might not appear. These might not appear here because these might already be a part of the official plugin. So don't worry if it's not. But it is still very cool to check out what is in the pipeline at whatever time that you are taking this course to see what is available to start testing, so you get that early insight, that early access. So let's activate our mega menus if you haven't already. And again, if you don't have these here, don't worry, they are probably already a part of Elementor. So with all of those on, we want to come to the bottom and select Save Changes. And now if we come along to, let's just come along to Pages, Add New. Let's just create now a home page. Let's publish that, publish. And now if we select Edit with Elementor, you are going to notice that things look very different to perhaps what you are used to. Now, of course, if you are taking this later in the year, this new header here, this new menu might be a part of the plugin, which is fine. But for now, things are looking very different, and it feels like we're getting very sort of early access, and that we're a bit special for having this access. So maybe that's just me. I'm a bit of a geek like that. But for whatever reason is, I still think it's really cool to be able to work with the stuff that is still in testing. So this is where we're going to be working with from now on. You'll notice that a lot of these elements up here are still exactly the same. The elements here are exactly the same, except now we have container. You can see that we now have this option where we can come straight to our theme builder. We can go straight to our website, which is really, really convenient, something that we never was able to do before. We can then obviously start adding elements by selecting this. We can change our site settings, like all of the globals. So everything that we could do before is still here. We have our responsive displays up here, our settings. So it's all here, only it's just ordered in a different order, and it's just a lot more user friendly. It allows us to quickly navigate and do things faster. So really, really cool. And we're going to be working with this setup going forward. So that is this lesson coming to an end. In the next lesson, we're going to stay on the page that we're on now, and we're going to deep dive into the world of containers.